Hi Sagittarius, welcome to your week ahead horoscope with me, Raphael from Reydiant Reality. It's an absolute pleasure to have you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for joining me. If you haven't already, please don't forget to like, share, and if you should so choose and it resonates, hit that subscribe button. If you are already a continued subby, you know I love you for it. With that said, if you would like to book a personal reading with me, you can do so on the website address below. And before we start, as always, I would like to bless my deck of cards with all forms of love, light, peace, prosperity, and abundance. And I pray that the messages that come through are ultimately clear and concise, and they help you on your path to your highest vibrational good. So with that said, let's have a look, see what the week ahead has in store for you. But before we go into it, your key to the week is the Chariot card. This is about victory. It's about success. It's about coming out on top. So whatever personal battles you've had this week, or on the run up to this week ahead is where you start to see the results. This is where you start to see the payoff. This is where you start to get some of the rewards for all of the hard work and hard effort that you've put in. Now remember, the Chariot card is a very fast card. It has a very fast, quick sort of dynamic energy to it. So it tends to speed things up, and you tend to find that when the Chariot card shows up for you, especially as a key to the week, it kind of says that the overall energy of the week could be very fast and furious. So you're going to have to be on your toes. You're going to have to be aware of what your own trigger points are this week. And that one's really important, because with the Chariot card, I always say to people, there's always a part of you that you are conquering as well. Whenever you meet or you gain some sort of success, whenever you have a step forward, you always seem to get you grow, right? You grow, you evolve on a personal level. And sometimes the thing that's holding us back is ourselves, right? That thing that's in our own way is us. So you're not only conquering, or succeeding in some sort of way on the external, you're doing that on the internal as well. So let's have a look, see at your sections for the week. So for your actions and options, you have the Six of Swords, right? This is great. So it looks like a lot of you are either planning some sort of travel, or some sort of travel is coming up for you. Now, if this isn't something that you already have on the cards, it may very well be that this comes up for you this week, that there's maybe some sort of spontaneous need to travel comes up, or maybe an opportunity sort of materializes for you, but it's going to require you to deal with or work with somebody that is at a distance to you, somebody that is not necessarily in your current or immediate environment in some way, shape or form. So that's really interesting. The other thing with the Six of Swords, this tends to be where you move out of that sort of difficult energy and into sort of smoother and calmer waters, which is really nice. And because this is your actions and your options, this is about you seeking the path of least resistance. This is the week where you're saying, right, you know what? Is it smooth? Is it calm? Is it easy? Then I'm going to go for it. And this is the same with whatever opportunity presents itself this week. It's very likely to have like an international or at least a foreign sort of flavor to it. And if that is the case, the question that you need to ask yourself is this the path of least resistance? And ultimately, does it feel smooth? Does it feel easy? For your communications and conversations, you have the Queen of Wands. So in some way, shape or form, certainly when it comes to your communications, a part of you or an aspect of yourself shows up. Now, the thing about the Queen of Wands is, and it's as an experience, I always see this as where you have to stand your ground, where you have to own yourself, where you have to, and Sagittarians tend to be quite good at this. You're very good with the sensuality sort of side of things, all of that. And when I say sensuality, it doesn't necessarily just mean in terms of sex. It very often means in terms of the sensual experience. And the fact that this is in your communications and conversations, this could be a week where you are very emotive in your speech. You're very vocal about what you want, about what you do want, about what you don't want. You could be drawing I was going to say battle lines, but I don't feel like it is that. I feel like it's more a case of you just saying, you know what? These are the lines, these are the things that I'm putting in place, and this is what I'm prepared to accept, this is what I'm prepared to do. Outside of that, it's a no, right? And the fact that this comes, through the guise there of the Chariot card, very, very interesting. Also, the Queen of Wands is a fire sign woman, so this could be an Aries, a Leo, or a Sagittarius. in some way, shape or form could feature for you. It may very well be that this need to travel or this, international contact of some sort maybe happens to be, a Queen of Wands or a Person of Wands. So let's have a look at your money and materials. You have the Star card. This is great because it means that whatever it is that's coming up for you this week, and look at this, right? The Star card underneath the Six of Swords. When you see those two cards coupled together, it's very often some sort of international travel. So this could be something that you're setting up. It could be something that sort of just materializes for you. It does look like whatever this opportunity is that's coming in for you, it could be a real money spinner in the long run. Now remember, this week itself is going to be very fast, but the Star card is always long distance time. It's very rarely a here and now sort of card, especially when it comes to things like money. It talks about having the longevity for it because it gives you the glimpse into the future, but it doesn't quite give you everything. All right, so this coupled with this, I'm definitely seeing some sort of international interaction, connection of some sort come up, and it could be financially very lucrative for you. Now, when it comes to your materials, so when it comes to the home, it looks like something that you've been waiting for a long time that maybe comes from overseas or comes from a different place or comes from, somewhere that is far from you, is now making its way to you. So if you've had any sort of delay, this is where you get the week, this will be the week where you get the news to say, right, well, this thing that we need is on its way, and now we can resume whatever schedule we have. When it comes to your physical health, look after your nervous system this week. The Star card rules Aquarius, and so I always kind of say your systems in general when it comes to your body. So, one thing that I've cautioned against for everybody, certainly over the next sort of few weeks as well, is big indulgence of drugs, alcohol, any of that sort of stuff, just because you might not get what you bargained for. All right. So just look after yourself in that respect. But yeah, when it comes to physical health, I would say look after your shins. Look after your blood, definitely, so don't pollute it with too many toxins or toxicity. And the other thing is as well, look after your nervous system. Just, if you feel, because this is going to be a really fast week as well, and I feel like you could be really sort of, like using a lot of that sort of inner energy, and it might kind of burn you out eventually. All right, so just try and take it at a pace. For your love and relations, you have the Five of Swords. Okay, so it does look like your relationships could be having a little bit of a tussle this week, and I think a lot of it is miscommunication. I don't actually feel like there's anything wrong with the foundations or the bedrock. I think it's a case of you're trying to set firm boundaries, and I feel like if this is happening with work, you might inadvertently try and bring that into the relationship, and your partner's like, I'm sorry, we're not at work now. You use your inside voice here, when you're at home. So it's not necessarily, like I said, I think it's going to be more miscommunication and maybe the way something comes across. So if you do have a partner, just consider the way that you say something this week. It doesn't necessarily mean that there's, big foundational problems with our relationships. I actually feel like Sagittarius this year is probably one of the safest for relationships, along with a couple of others. But yeah, like your Leos, your Aquarians, your Pisces, they have it rough with relationships this year for sure. If you are single, it does look like some of you are flirting with a friend, or possibly, somebody that you meet through a friend. But here's the thing, it is the Five of Swords, so it looks like sparks are going to fly between you, and they might not necessarily all be the kind of sparks that you would want. You might really rub each other the wrong way, and you might find that that's where the sexual tension comes from. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's like kind of like that. It's a fine line between love and hate kind of energy. So if you're single and you've got an eye or a tingle for a friend or a friend of a friend, just consider that it might be a rocky start. What it develops into in the long run, we can never really tell, but you kind of get my drift. All right, so with that said, I wish you an abundance of all of that good stuff. Have a fantastic week. Let me know in the comments how it shapes up. Take care, and I'll see you soon.